Okay, welcome to Digital Imaging 1, and this is the second to last class for the semester. Yay! So we're going to do a short review on some of the content and things for the exam. Does anyone remember what special time our exam is on this Thursday, May 7th? So I have 12:20 to 2:10. 12:20. So I'm planning to be here by noon on Thursday to welcome you all on our final project together. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to do an overview of some of the things I mentioned in the announcement. So the final exam review, we're going to be focusing on basically photo editing is going to be the primary focus for this final exam. And we've done a lot of projects that involve this, some to a greater extent than others. And I want you to spend some time between now and Thursday going back through this book, right? So we went through lessons 1 through 6 in here, and some of them more than others deal with using Photoshop to edit images. Can anyone remember the first lesson that was really starting on that? What lesson do we really start working to edit images? So it would be lesson 2, okay? So lesson 2 in here, just gonna open this up, basic photo corrections. I feel like this is story time. Basic photo corrections, right? Remember, there's this list of things here. They're not tools, they're sort of processes that you might wanna walk through when you get to an image that you need to correct. And this lesson goes through it some detail with this family on the bridge about going through those processes. So just as a reminder, those steps, right? Not necessarily the tool itself, but those steps might be important to remember for Thursday as you work on your final exam, okay? And then in lesson 3, you're gonna have selections, right? So selections are very important for manipulating specific pieces of your image. Lesson 4, layers, okay? Hopefully some of this is coming back to you. So layers are primarily how Photoshop organizes its content. You can use folders, subfolders, but layers is how you organize the different things that you might be manipulating with selections and masks and so forth. Quick fixes. So lesson 5 was about using Photoshop efficiently to make changes. There's the red eye tool. There's other adjustment tools in here to alter your images, content awareness tools, and so forth. And then chapter or lesson 6, right? That's when we get into masks and channels, right? So this is a little bit more advanced use of selections on your layers, but it's a way to hide or manipulate things, hopefully through non-destructive manipulations. Basically, I want you to go through those, and especially lesson 2, maybe just kind of skim through, maybe kind of look over some things. I'm going to share just a handful of projects that we worked on that targeted some of these. So these are just a handful of the things that we worked on this semester that focus on using these processes and these tools, the brush tools, the quick selection, and other tools, right? So we have the retouching ones that we did. This one was earlier with the couple. Then we had this other one that was a little bit more complicated. And then eventually we had a colorization project where we targeted either a specific area or the entire image. And then lastly, we had the fruit plate project, where we took a bunch of different images and tried to make it look like they belong together. And obviously, we use some of these techniques and tools with other projects, like with the montage and the collage to varying degrees. But these four in particular were very focused on fixing or altering images so that they looked realistic, hopefully. They looked like they belonged together, that it was clear and easier to understand what was going on in the portrait or in the photo itself. Anyone have any comments or questions about these kinds of projects that we've been doing? Do you remember roughly how you did some of these? We spent a lot of time on the fruit plate, really honing our skills. I know that some of these were more challenging than others, but I want to make sure that if you want to ask a question here with your peers or with me, that we have the time to spend on it, right? So in the final exam, you're going to be working on something that is similar to one of these, okay? Where you're going to be taking an image that's less ideal and making it look better. You'll be adding some text. You'll be following the specifications to make sure that it's the right color mode, that it's the right size, that's the right resolution, that it's the right export file types. You're going to be following the specifications in order to provide to your client the finished image that is needed. Any questions on that? Do you have any questions on anything in this book or anything else that we've covered through our discussions or any of the other materials? No? Do we need to review any of the techniques? Do we need to review any of the tools? The clone stamping, eyedropper, anything? So what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing is that everyone who's on this call is fairly comfortable and confident that they know how to perform what's in these lessons and what we've done in these assignments. Does that seem accurate? I'm getting a lot of thumbs up. Okay. So the questions that I'm going to be asking you for this will be very similar to the ones I keep asking you: what was working, what's not working, those sorts of things. And basically, I want you to define that as well as you can using the terminology, using the names of the tools. This will be about 2 hours of time on Thursday. And we're going to basically, the format is we're going to all come here. I'm going to leave the Zoom on for the duration. As soon as you're done, you're going to send me a note to let me know that you've submitted in Talon. There's 2 assignments in there from the final exam, one for the manipulative and one for the written. The written will just be your answers to the questions. So please make sure that you put either in Talon or by email the written component, and then put the layered Photoshop file and the PDF in Talon under the manipulative one, okay? So the total is going to be 50 points, 10 for the Q&A, 40 for the rest. And I just want you to get done as much as you can. So some people are going to be much faster at this than some of the other projects. Some people are going to have certain strengths and weaknesses using the tools. That's just the way we are. So I want you to do the best that you can to match the before with the and the after together. And that's all that we're looking for. I'm basically going to be grading you against what I've seen you've been doing over this semester. It's less about you versus the other students and more about you versus yourself, okay? So I don't want anyone to stress out about this. I want you to take your time and to give it your attention and to just use what you've been learning over the semester to produce a better image. That's what we're here for, is to produce better, interesting images than when we than before we were here in this class. Does that make sense for everyone? Okay. So one more thing, for those of you who still haven't submitted everything for the montage project, I would still like for you to submit that or anything else. Some of you submitted one or two things from the montage. What I would recommend is if you haven't sent me your sketch list theme, please do so. Even though we've discussed it, please send it so I have it as documented. If you haven't done an image uh, progress with the grid or golden spiral, please do so. And if for some reason you haven't submitted your final montage that we looked at, that we discussed over a week ago, please do so as soon as possible. I do want you to get as many points as you can. Uh, and I know that some of you have had computer problems and other issues. So if you need to go back and just sort of take a look at it for over a few minutes and add a spiral or something and see if it changes things, please do so along with the text responses and get that into me as soon as you can. Okay. So basically, after we do the final exam on Thursday, I'm going to begin to grade them, and I'm going to begin going through Talent again to see if I've missed anything. And I'd like to get the grades in earlier, but I think they're due on Monday, the following Monday. So I want to get these out so that you get them on time. And I want you to just be able to rest knowing that you did a great job. And I think that all of you have done a great job this semester in here. And I've really enjoyed having you in here and seeing you grow as digital artists. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I don't see any comments. I'm not hearing anything. Please don't stress out. Read through the lessons that we discussed and look over those projects if you can, and get a good night's rest, right? Be healthy, be safe. And if you have any questions between now and Thursday, please let me know as soon as possible. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you at our special time on Thursday for the final exam. Take care, everyone.